Hey, we're talking about Fling Con. Up next on Geek Out SA. I did not mess that. Do not attempt to adjust your YouTube video. We control the stream. And welcome back to Geek Out SA. It's Friday and we're having fun. We have a guest.
Aaron's fault.
It wasn't my fault.
It's all Aaron's fault.
It wasn't my
wasn't
fault
my
this
fault.
time. I didn't flub the intro.
That just means I have to come in like 20 minutes early to make sure the equipment's working instead of like
it
10.
was working. In Vince's defense, it was working. And then Aaron sat down, and all of a
Oh.
sudden, it stopped working.
Oh.
Joe
It was
saw it. It
Oh.
was like,
I
you
don't
know.
know what's going on.
He's like, don't blame
I'm
me,
staying
keep me out of this.
I'm staying
Not
out
my
of
circus,
this.
not my clowns.
So we're talking about Fling Con today, and
I'm
we have
guessing you
here
have a
Joseph
shirt.
Fling out hanging out with us to kind of tell us what it's all about. So what is Fling Con?
So it's a board game convention. It's open gaming. You can bring whatever you want to play. I have a library of games that are available. I probably bring about 100 or so games. Last time we probably had a good 300 or 400 games to choose from, just from everybody bringing, several games themselves.
Oh, nice.
Very nice, very nice. So we have a little background, just a little background on conventions, especially gaming conventions. So it's great because we had stopped doing it. It's great that somebody like picked up the mantle and decided, hey, I'm going to do this. And the funny thing is, I didn't hear about you till like, what, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
When you contacted
Right.
me, I was just like, I had no idea. I was like, I didn't know this was going on. And how did you start out? Because this isn't the first one.
No, I've actually, it started very small. We were playing games with a couple friends one day. It was about 4 of us, and one of my friends said, hey, you know what? We should do this all day long. From the time we wake up to the time we go to bed, we should plan a day where we do nothing but play games and take a break from everything else. And so I was, that sounds fun.
You're like, that
So,
sounds
yeah,
awesome.
it sounds
Let's
great.
do that.
So I made it happen. Maybe a couple months later, we planned something on a Saturday to where we could, do exactly that. And every few months, I would host it at my house, and we would always accrue a few more people each time to the point where I didn't have any more chairs. So I decided to go to the local church and where they have a gym, and I've got probably 150 to 200 chairs there, to where
Nice.
I can host a lot more people.
Very
That was the beginning.
Yeah.
That was
just
the
to
beginning.
mention, hey, let's do an all-day game thing. So it's just last Fling Con, I think I had about 60. I've got it.
That was no longer at your house, right?
That was no longer at my house.
Right.
Okay,
I've-
just wondering.
I've got about 80 registered for this upcoming one.
Nice.
Still more to count. So it's growing. It's growing at a nice slow pace, just like I want.
Very nice, very
Good,
nice.
Very good.
So, what are some of the games that are kind of going to be featured? Because I know you have a few of them that are featured on your website.
Yes. So I think you're talking about the scheduled games, where you
Yes.
can actually go in and schedule any games that you'd like to play, and other people can go on and sign in to play those games. The big one I've got for myself that I'm trying to do early in the morning is a game called Legacies that I just obtained off Kickstarter. Wingspan is obviously on there.
I
Everyone's
love
got to play
Wingspan.
Wingspan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else is on there? Eclipse, Second Dawn.
Uh-huh.
I've been a big Eclipse fan for several years. We've got, there's a few others. I have to go on the website. I can't remember all of them. There's a few others that people are trying to schedule to play. But honestly, the majority of the games that are played are just picked off the shelf and say, hey, you want to play this?
So the people that are out there scheduling games, like yourself included, are you willing to teach new players that have never played this game, or do you really want kind of experienced players to come and just kind of jump in with you?
I'm good with either one. Obviously, if I can have experienced players and not have to teach it, then that's more beneficial. But I'm always down to teach a game.
Okay.
Yeah. And Legacies, I don't know if you've played Legacies, but it's a big, heavy game, and
Right.
I'm gonna have to teach it, which is fine.
We have not played Legacies. You know what? We're not big, heavy game people. That's just not our thing. And you know how that is. Like in the board game community, you have some people that are into the big, heavy games and some are not. And so my last big, heavy game was Game of Thrones, and I was not a fan.
Yeah.
so we're not doing that anymore. But we know a lot of people who love the big heavy games, and they want that epic board game that's going to last like 4 hours long, you know. So definitely more power to you. What's the theme kind of behind this one?
You're basically spanned over 300 years. You're creating your legacy basically over 300 years with your family and building a foundation. Basically, you are.
Is it like a resource?
It's resource management a little bit, not a whole lot. It's more investing in different aspects of the game, like military or education, or several different things you can invest in, and then you.
So like an expanded kind of Risk. You're like building.
No, it's not. It's not Risk.
Are you gonna go attack people with your legacy?
The object of the game is to basically have the most fame by the end of the game.
Oh, okay, okay. Interesting. I haven't seen that one, and you found that one on Kickstarter.
I did.
Oh, nice. I haven't been on Kickstarter in a while.
Well, then you're saving money because I spent a lot of money on Kickstarter.
Well, we've done some, and then I don't know. We don't end up getting the stuff. Like the really cool thing that I wanted to get were those pencil dice, and we never got those things.
Yeah,
and then somebody else has created them already, and they're selling them elsewhere.
Yeah.
But I was like, but I did a Kickstarter for that.
And not all Kickstarters burn you. It's not like that. But we've been burned a few times to where we're like, I'll just wait until they've got it in production, and I'll just buy it from a store or from them or whatever. So is that your genre a game? Like, are you an epic, heavy board gamer? Is that what you generally like?
I prefer the more heavy scale games, the Vitel Lacerda games. I love heavy games. I'll play lighter games too. I'm more of the Eurocentric and Ameritrash type board gamer.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, Writing Panda says, I remember playing Game of Thrones with Colleen. LOL.
Thanks.
Were you the one that kept saving her? Because
He was not the one that kept saving me. He knew me enough, and he knew the looks on my faces to know that I was not having that. It was the other lovely gentlemen who were very kind to me and wanted to save me.
He says that you were merciless.
I was a damsel in distress. Well, I was at first, but then I was trying to damsel in distress.
That you were brutal and merciless.
I was trying to use my girly wiles to get out of the game to play stupid. Like, because a lot of boys will sometimes think that if you're a girl, you're too stupid to play a board game. And if you want to get out of said board game, that's when you pretend like you're too stupid. And you, oh my God, I just died. I just don't understand strategy at all. I'm just too stupid. But then some men are gallant and nice and lovely. And they're like, oh, well, that's okay. We'll totally help you. And we'll build you up. And no, I was trying to die. But you don't want to tell them that because then you don't want to hurt the board gamer's feelings that you're trying to get out of the game. So you're like, I'm stuck here forever. So do you have you seen a good mix of males and females and age groups and stuff coming to the con, or?
I have. I think I counted, out of the 80 I think I have about 15 or 20 females.
Okay.
That are registered, so that's a good portion.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. It's growing. It's growing. I've seen over the years that it's grown. That the women are starting to play more than they ever had.
We want to play, but we've had bad experiences, especially like in our age bracket where we grew up in the time of the 80s where this was not, necessarily acceptable and everything, and everybody was not so kind to us, and then if you were a girl on top of it. So, and there's been some, I think, growth over the years where we can feel a little bit more comfortable being in that arena. So, but you'll be the one who's kind of in charge if anybody needs to come to you and talk to you about anything.
Yes,
you'll be there. He's a big dude. You can't see sitting down, but he's a big dude. So you need help, you go tell him. He'll take care of you.
Like this.
He'll be like, can you help me?
Can you help
They're
me?
being mean to me.
I'll be sitting down most of the time. So.
Oh, okay. Okay, so then we can look at you face to face.
I'm actually finding a lot of married couples registered.
Yeah.
So I honestly, maybe not all of them, but most of the females that are attending are married to someone who's coming.
Who's a gamer themselves, yeah. That's good. So then they'll have their own brute force with them.
Right, exactly.
Do you have any role-playing going on at Flingcon?
Not specifically, although it's open to play role-playing games.
So, But you don't see anybody hasn't like scheduled it yet or
No,
anything.
they-
Because
no.
generally, when you're talking about role playing, you kind of have to have it scheduled in advance so that
You
you
do,
know
yes.
how big of the
Right,
party you want to
right.
have. And
Right.
do you do any role playing or?
I don't. The most role playing I'll do is Too Many Bones. I don't know if you heard of that from Chip Theory Games. It's dice role playing, and it's not a continuous role play. Although there is a campaign mode, it's not the continuous role play. It's a sit down for 2 to 4 hours and play a role playing game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's lighter role playing.
It's role play light. That's
It
okay,
is, it
and
is,
that's
yeah.
okay. We like board game light, so it's
Right.
okay if you like
Got
role
it.
play light.
Yeah.
As I guess you can tell by our shirts that we're
Yeah,
role
I
players
noticed.
more.
I noticed.
Just a little
Not that
bit.
we don't have a few
Yeah.
board games, and
I was checking them out.
But that's pared down from what we did have.
Oh well, when
Quite a
we used
bit.
to run the con, we had 400 games, just
Yeah.
us. Yeah. That was just us. That was the library. But since then, we've donated them to game stores and other places so they can have them in their game libraries and stuff like that. Because how are we going to play 400
Right,
games
yeah.
by ourselves?
I think we have a couple of them at Black Potion. Kay was telling
There's
us
a couple at Black
of them
Potion.
there at Potion.
There used to be some. There used to be some at Dragon's Lair. There used to be some at Night Watch. There used to be some at Heroes and Fantasy. We tried to get them out there to everybody, but you know how it is with games. If people are playing them and people are playing them and people are playing them, they don't last for eternity.
They don't, yeah.
And if they're going through a lot of hands.
Right.
So, do you have a personal side collection that you don't share?
I have a lot of games I don't bring, but it's not because I don't want them to be played. I do own a copy of the War of the Ring Collector's Edition, it was only 2,000 made in the world. My wife actually was very nice, I don't know, 13 years ago and got it for me. I don't bring that.
Right.
I don't want
Right.
people touching that.
You
Right.
can't touch that one. You can't touch that one.
But besides that, no, everything else that's popular and good, I bring to the convention with me.
What have you found since you've been running it for a few years now? What have you found that you've learned over the years running the con?
Trying to get people to register early so that I can plan is something that's
That never happened.
been difficult.
Yep.
And like we were talking before the show, if everybody registered 2-3 months in advance, that'd be wonderful. But they don't need to travel to my convention. No one is coming from California or the Northeast to come to my convention. It's mainly I got some Austin people, but it's mainly San Antonio people coming, and they don't need to plan months in advance. They can just go online the week before and buy their ticket.
Right.
That's probably one of the biggest challenges
Right.
I've had is trying to plan in advance. Like now that the convention is next Saturday, I'm starting to get a lot of people register now, which
Yeah.
Well, and if you're watching and you're interested, one of the reasons you need to register for him is he's going to have something special that you won't see at most cons. He's going to have food available. So it'd be nice if you knew how much food to get for all of y'all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So can you
Exactly.
talk a little bit about the food that you're going to have and what's going to be kind of available and how that's going to work?
Yeah, I have literally I have a spread of food from 8 a.m. till we probably shut it down around 11 p.m. But we do breakfast. I'll have donuts and eggs and bacon and sausage and biscuits and
Just
I
all
may
of
have
them.
I may have kolaches there for breakfast. For lunch, I order those big Costco trays of sandwiches.
Oh, yeah.
The croissant sandwiches. I'll have a lot of those. I'll have meatballs and
Oh, you're making me hungry.
chips and dip and veggie trays, meat trays, cheese trays, cookies and stuff out there all day long. For dinner, we'll do lasagna and French bread and salad and asparagus and
Nice.
that's some of it. But
And-
it's available all day. So
And that comes with the ticket price,
that comes
right?
with the ticket price. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So-
you're able to this is like being cooked on site or heated
I
up
do
or
most
what?
of it the week before,
Mhm.
and then I'll bring it there and heat it up.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah,
Because
but
he's
very
doing
cool.
it all alone, people.
Yeah,
Right?
for
Yeah.
now.
For now.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
now,
Writing
for now.
Panda says yes, the food, hooray! And that is part of your ticket price. So
It is.
you're not paying for food.
Everything's inclusive.
It's
so,
all included.
And so you can
in
just be
there.
there and game and game and game
Yep,
and
and
game.
that buffet
and
food
eat.
is in the gaming hall.
Yeah,
so
Adam says food is always good. You're just living up your living up to your name.
Yep.
And that was one of the things that you had told us beforehand, that you got the idea so that people wouldn't have to leave, like take
Yeah.
some time out. Because sometimes you're in the middle of a game, and I don't know if people who aren't, I think people who are video gamers get it, and I think people who are board gamers get it, but sometimes you're in the middle of the game and you're invested in it, right? And your stomach is rumbling, or somebody else at the table, their stomach is rumbling, and you don't want to stop mid-game that you're invested in and have to go somewhere and wait in line. And even if you order ahead on the app and you got to go pick it up, and then they mess it up, and then you try to bring it back. So I think this is a really good idea, and I appreciate you having this idea, because then people can just like be there and eat.
Yeah.
And
that is exactly the point, to not have to worry about, well, where am I getting, where am I getting my food from? It's right over there on the table.
Yeah.
Just bring your plate over and eat it, and you don't miss a beat. So.
Plenty of napkins, maybe. Wet naps.
Yep.
so that was my next thing. I was like, so we talked about people
it's-
touching games,
yes.
Joe. I'm just wondering.
Yeah, it's so far nothing has happened. Keep fingers crossed there. Nothing's happened.
He hasn't met me yet in a gaming situation. I'm not allowed to eat Doritos or anything anymore, You're like, no, we only have Ruffles or Pringles.
Right. I'm not serving buffalo wings or anything at the convention. That's kind of, get on your fingers, right?
But it's just an interesting thing to have that included with it, and at $25, that's amazing. I don't know if you're gonna be able to do that once you go bigger.
It's going to be much difficult. I'll have to
This would
figure
be
something else
really-
out.
yeah.
Just keep growing. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, luckily you said it's at a local church, right?
It is.
And it's in their gym, so they probably have a kitchen area as well,
They do,
right?
yep.
Right. So I think as long as you're still in this 150 range
Right.
and you're still doing it, you probably could get people to help you prep food there, so
Absolutely,
that could still
absolutely,
be. Because I just think that's such a great concept. Is just because you're talking about $25 for food all day, like. And board games, like where are you even going to get food all day for $25
right.
elsewhere?
Yep.
You know what I mean? So
Well, you say it's happening in a church. I know this is going to come up because I know a lot of people there kind of like over the years, like even like D&D players have been attacked by people at churches just because they think it's demonic or whatnot. Is that something that they have to be worried about at your event?
As far as the church goes, no.
Yeah.
No.
No.
I'm not. I haven't had anybody. And honestly, it's a Saturday, so the people that run the church aren't there on Saturday, anyways.
Yeah.
It's just us there. So.
But they're not going to go through and like shut you down or anything like that, because
I
I
would
think
certainly hope
people
not.
are kind of like, yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm not. That's not a fear I have right now.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. It's nice to know that people are starting to understand more about gaming these days and what it's actually about. Just like we're just having a good time doesn't necessarily mean we're actually making spells to like hurt people or anything like that. Or
we've thought about it. No, I'm just kidding. So what are some game mechanics that you've seen? Because you're on Kickstarter. So what are some game mechanics that you've seen lately that you like?
I just received a game called My Father's Work, which is a story-driven game. So I guess I've always been into story-driven games, but I guess I'm getting more into them as I play more of them. And it's
Yeah, so you like that kind of story-driven.
But also the
game.
worker placement mechanic is always been my favorite.
Yeah.
From Age of Empires to Legacies, all kinds of games. I love the worker placement mechanic.
we played a game called Worker Placement. That's a worker placement.
Yeah.
It was
game.
fun.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah.
It was by a Canadian manufacturer, and
Yeah.
it was fun. We had a good time with that. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a pretty good game. Because like when we go to Gen Con every so often, we'll get together with some of like the game designers and stuff like that, and we'll play each other's prototypes or play each other's games, and just kind of like get the feel of like what it is. Is that something that you want there? Do you want like game developers? Because we have quite a few game developers here in San Antonio.
Yeah, I do. I do want that. Right now, I'm like I told you, I'm trying to grow this very slowly. So I've got Night's Watch on board. I've got Gamers Gym on board. I've got Printed Meeple. I've got a lot of the local game stores.
Mhm.
The new one in the mall. I can't think of the name of it.
Oh, Battle
Pub.
Battle Pub.
Yeah, I've been there.
Mhm.
Great guys
I haven't
there.
been there. I haven't been there
It's
yet.
a really,
been to
it's a
that
really
one
nice
yet.
store. It's very open, and they have their bar in there. And then also Black Potion. He came to
Yeah.
my convention last year.
Nice.
They're all donating something or helping out in some way, which is very nice.
Very cool.
Yeah. So I'm slowly getting there, getting the booth set up, and I haven't finished out any further than that yet.
Yeah.
But that's my start.
But if anybody from San Antonio who is a game designer wants to just go onto your site and schedule some of their games for people to like try their prototypes, no problem, right? They
That's
can just
no
go schedule. What is the charge for people who are gonna schedule games?
It's the same for $25 for right now.
Okay.
That may change in the future, but for right now, I've had I don't know, I've had 2 or 3 people that ask me if they can bring their prototype in there. It's like, yeah, just register as normal and bring your prototype up, and I'll set up your own table in the back there, and you can do prototype. You can do your prototype. Yep.
Okay.
Very cool. Very cool. I really liked it when we did that and brought out a lot of the game developers there, and they liked it a lot because they got a lot of feedback on their game, and got it from here in San Antonio. But we've got some really great game developers that have come through our conventions, and hopefully they will come through yours as well.
Well, and that's the nice thing about yours is you have an audience already of people who want to play board games. So you have people who should, in theory, want to play your
Right,
game and
yeah.
try it out, right?
Especially different people that you don't know. to get
Different people that you
ideas
don't
and different
know.
Views on your game, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, like you've seen us talk, so he likes a different type of board game than the type of board game I like. But it's still good to get feedback from all of the kinds of people that like your game, because they may see a game mechanic within your game that would work better that somebody else who constantly plays your type of game won't necessarily see. So
Right.
it's nice to get all of those different viewpoints and
It
stuff
is,
too.
yeah. I don't think you'd have enough people play test your game.
Mm-hmm.
I really
Yeah.
don't.
No, because there's always going to be something,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
There's always going to be something.
So something a little bit about yourself. I don't know if we've touched on it yet. That you are or used to be put of law enforcement.
I am
Is that
currently
correct?
law enforcement.
You are currently law enforcement. And how does that? Are you bringing some of your other law enforcement friends to the game table?
I have one, my friend Kelvin, who we met. He also works at the sheriff's office. He will be there. I also have a few that work with me now that are wanting to go. I haven't registered yet, which I'm pushing them. But
Yeah.
But yeah. So
Because you don't think about it. I was like, does law enforcement play games? But yeah, law enforcement's play
But
games
do you
too.
find that there is still a little bit of a stigma because you're in, I guess, more of a like a machismo, masculine type of thing that guys are like, I don't want to play those board games. Those are for nerds.
if you're looking for a whole bunch of gaming nerds, as you say, I wouldn't recommend going to law enforcement. But they're there.
But they're there.
You just have to, pull them. They're there. I was into gaming long before I was into law enforcement. But anybody who likes, comic books or the comic book movies or anything, video games, anything. If you get them the right game, the gateway game,
That's it right
I think
there.
you can, get them into the hobby.
Yeah, if you can get them into the right game.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, a lot of people think, oh, well, if you like, like Marvel or something, let's play this Marvel game. But I don't know if you've found this, but a lot of times you find if they skin a game with something popular, it's not always the best game mechanic, and it might not be the best game to get people in on.
DC has made some good card games.
I like DC.
With
Some of DC's
Cryptozoic.
deck builders
Yeah.
are really good, and I like the new Back to the Future game.
Marvel Versus was good back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
That one was really
It
fun.
was okay, but I think people need to be aware.
The one that I love was Marvel, the TSR Marvel.
TSR Marvel.
Yeah, TSR did a Marvel role-playing game.
Yeah, the role playing game. Yeah,
Mhm.
it was okay. It had flaws.
I liked it.
It had flaws.
Overpower was just, I don't know if y'all remember that one.
Mm-hmm.
That one was just too much.
So what are your thoughts on Monopoly?
I was gonna ask you what's your
I knew
worst,
you were going to
yeah.
ask him.
It was a great game when I was about 10, and there was nothing else out in the 80s.
Yeah.
You know, if my kids want to play Monopoly, I'll play Monopoly.
Yeah.
But
We
I'm
just
not
know
gonna
a
play
lot of
Monopoly with
hardcore
my- yeah.
gamers that are just
Yeah.
like, that's not a game.
You know, of course, of course, when you're trying to explain to someone that you play board games and you're running a convention and stuff,
That's what they think.
and like Monopoly, you know, it's like, no, it's not.
Yeah,
like,
we
it's
sit
not
around
like
and play
Monopoly.
Uno and Monopoly all
Play
day,
Uno
a
and
little
Monopoly.
skip low and some dominoes. It's great.
Right.
Hey, you know what?
But
grew
I
up with
do
that
still
stuff.
play those.
I was gonna say I grew up with
I
that
do
stuff.
still
and-
play those because if you play it the right way, you can have a great game. Even Monopoly.
He just likes Monopoly because he always wins.
Yeah.
It's not my fault.
He's somehow
The-
he's
the
the
dice roll in his
banker
favor?
and he wins.
Ah.
But he still won't play me in a fighting game. I'm waiting.
Oh,
I
that's
told
gonna
you I'd
happen.
play
I
you
said,
in a
let's
fighting
go.
game.
And we were like, let's go.
You said I said let's
let's go.
play Jackie Chan. You're like, what's that?
I said Street Fighter 2. Or I said, I want 4. And you were like, nah.
No, you said a different.
I said
one.
Dead or Alive as well.
Dead or Alive.
Yeah, and you were like, nah.
No, I said let
okay.
me play that
Nah.
one. Let me learn that one before you're like.
Oh, so
nah.
do I have to learn? Do I get to learn Jackie
Yeah.
Chan? Oh, okay. I thought it was just blind going in.
No.
Let's go. I'll
So
go blind.
you said you wanted to kind of grow slowly. What do the next few years look like for you if it goes the way you're hoping that it goes?
So what I don't want 1,000 people in 2 years. I don't want that. I don't know if I even want 500 people in 2 years. I'm trying to do this financially safe for myself and for my family. And I'm trying, and like I said, I'm doing this by myself right now. I've got some help that's coming. So I don't know. I want to take it slow. And if I can get to 150 people in, maybe the next or 1 or 2 Fling Cons, then I'd be very happy. And then maybe 200 from there and then 250 from there. I want to go it slowly so I don't,
Can't
get
bring
burnt out
yourself
on
out.
it.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get in over my head over this.
Yeah.
Do you want to grow it beyond board games and have like people there doing miniatures and role playing, or do you want to keep it kind of board game centric?
I really haven't thought that far into it yet.
Okay, that's
No.
okay. That's okay.
I'm not, like I said, I'm taking it really slow.
I'm
You're
just
just like,
asking because
baby
you did it
steps.
for such
Because
a
I'm just
long
trying to have
time
some
and-
fun here.
Yeah.
Well, I just don't
I'm
think
not
people
opposed
understand
to-
it's a
I'm
different
not opposed to it.
dynamic, right? And
Yeah.
it's different, when you have people playing miniatures games, they need a different size table and they have different requirements.
Sure.
Whereas, and then if you have role players, they kind of need a space where they can hear each other because it's mostly talking,
Right.
and so the board gamers kind of are a little loud, so it's hard to kind of keep them, to have them all in the same gym is a little difficult, right? So I just don't think people watching know the logistics, so I just wanted to
I'm
see.
definitely not opposed to
Not opposed to.
to
Okay.
making it several different things. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that would be good because we know some people. So
Yeah.
you tell us what you're looking for,
Right.
and we'll
You got it.
we'll slowly
You got
help eke them your way. Okay.
Yeah.
They know a midget, a clown, and a lion. That's all they know.
Mhm. But they are spectacular.
They are.
Yeah,
That
they are.
midget.
We like little people. They're very nice and very helpful. Lions, not so sure. They're a little shady.
He's
They're a
so
little sus.
cuddly.
Are there any board games that you haven't played yet that you don't have in your library that you're hoping somebody will sign up and bring?
I can't think of any off the top of my head.
No, you've
my
got them all.
My wife's gonna be so mad for saying this, but I pretty much buy the board games I want to play.
Do you have the one that I wanted that I missed it on was the Ghostbusters board game
Oh, the
that
Afterlife
came
one?
out. I've never played that one.
It had the
Let's see.
miniature figures with
Yeah.
it. It was the one where didn't you build the tiers up? The board game had like different levels, and then you played in the different levels. Is that the one?
I think so. I don't remember.
Yeah.
It's been so long. So that's one of the ones that I thought about that if it were there, I was like, I'd want to play that.
Are there any games you're not allowed to play, like that you rage quit or do anything weird?
No, no,
Darn.
not yet. That may happen.
So
well,
I'm not allowed to play games with little figures and stuff because I
Oh,
get
you're one of
bored.
those.
I get
But it's
bored
just
when other
hers.
people have their turns because people take too long to decide what they want to
Yeah.
do. And so then I'm like having asides and
Yeah.
stories, and the little figures are playing because I'm like 4. And so, yeah. And then if I play miniatures, and then if I have a dragon or something, then you're gonna have like sound effects and stuff. So yeah, people don't want to play with me.
Yeah.
It's not nice. So no, none of that. No,
No. Have you ever played Dwellings of Eldervale?
I haven't played that
Okay,
one.
it comes with little bases on the figures, and when you move them, they actually make sounds. So when we play that game, someone's taking too long, we'll
And then you're making the
Yeah.
sounds. Yeah.
So I know what you're talking about.
Are you the impatient gamer, or are you?
I make my moves pretty quick normally.
Yeah.
Normally, yeah.
That's me
we
too.
have
Like, because I'm a few moves out in my head, and I'm
Yes.
thinking like chess style. Like, what do I think they're gonna do
Yeah.
based on that and stuff. So when it gets to my turn, I want to move, and he's the epic thinker.
Yeah.
He wants to sit and survey it and
Make the
stuff,
absolute
and
best.
make the absolute best choice. And we're like half an hour in, and I'm like,
You played a lot of chess, didn't you?
So I'm like,
No, I actually didn't play a lot of chess. As
and
a
I'm
kid.
like, and the figures are having a nice party over here.
But I learned it by playing Monopoly. I learned to be that way by playing Monopoly because you have to, like, if you play it right, it's an interesting game. If you play it like how everybody else plays it, then it's just like a mindless game.
Yeah. Can be.
It can be. It can be.
And sometimes mindless games are fun. Sometimes, especially after I've had an epic big game like you like,
you need that small.
I
filler
need
game.
that small filler game to like just kind of like let
But
my
you're
brain
talking
be
about
moved,
like if somebody brings out a deck of Cards Against Humanity, is that something that's going to be allowed there?
Not in the church.
Okay.
No. Okay. So yeah, that would be an exception. That would not be allowed to bring that. Yeah.
Okay.
You know, aren't we all kind of over Cards Against Humanity at this
I think
point?
everyone
old now, right?
is.
Like we've heard every joke, every blink and fart joke you can
Yeah.
hear. Like we've heard them all at this point. I'm kind of over it.
But some people are not.
What you meme can kind of be like that. It can kind of be funny and it can kind of be inappropriate too. So it just kind of depends. That's another kind of party game.
Apples to apples, you can
Apples
make
to
like that.
apples
Same
can,
concept.
yeah, because I bought that for my middle schoolers and they find
Yeah.
a way, and I'm like, no, we're done. They're like, well, you should have just bought us Cards Against You. No, and we're done. Let's play chess.
Right.
We're playing Rubik's Cube games. Go.
Go. Make it
We're all
happen.
playing solitaire.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
I like things like code names. Do you like code names?
Yeah, we used to play Codenames a lot with some friends. Yeah.
Yeah, I like things like
Codenames is
that.
good.
That's a good one. That's a fun one.
So are you finding what is your outlook for 5 years from now?
That's a tough question. I'm pushing 100 right now. 5 years from now, I like to be around 300 or 400.
Do you still want to be doing it 5 years from now?
I thought you
As of right now, yes.
Okay.
Ask me again in 4 years, and I don't know. We'll see.
Ask you in 2 maybe.
Right.
We'll ask you next year.
Yeah.
Do you think you'll continue to do the food when you get to 500, or do you feel like there's maybe a set point where that's no longer
That's-
going to be viable and you want to do
That's
something
been in the
else?
back of my mind for a while now. So, okay, if I'm getting 300 people, I can't go home and cook food for 300 people as easily as I can for 80.
Uh-huh.
So it's one of those things where I'll tackle that problem when I get there.
Right.
You know,
And maybe you could work with a catering company, you know,
I've thought about that. I've thought about food trucks parked outside.
food trucks
you know.
outside.
Um,
That would be a good
yeah.
one. Yeah, I like
Yeah,
that
it's-
idea. So,
I-
so
I've
there are
been brainstorming
things.
for
Okay.
things for the future. But when I make those final decisions, I'll get there when I get there.
So I don't think that that's one thing that you've been able to tell everybody about. And so if people are thinking about kind of doing this kind of thing on their own, can you explain a little bit like what kind of planning kind of goes into this for you? Like it's not like a month ago you were like, hey, I want to do this event, right?
No. So I would say this is a good 3 to 4 months of planning. I need to reserve the church. I need to have the space, obviously, before I can do anything else. I have to get the website all set up. I have to get all the payment, make sure all the payment things in the website will work, and make sure all the links. The website's a lot of work. You know, when you click on it, you're walking through things. It might not seem like it, but there's a lot of work involved in that website. I spend a lot of time on the website. And then just recently I had an issue with my emails, so people were registering, and I didn't know they were registering because I wasn't getting the notification.
wow.
So I had to fix that, and then I have to get all the receipts out. I personally make badges for everybody. Planning the food, where I'm going to store it after I buy it until I get it to the convention.
Oh yeah.
How much food I need. I don't want to overbuy too much.
Right.
I'd rather have a little more left over than not enough.
Right.
So it's a lot of planning. It really is. I'm doing merchandise. This is the first time I've done merchandise. I work with a company who's been great so far. As far as like when I ordered this shirt, I ordered it one day, they printed it the same day, and shipped it the next.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, okay, this is the company I want to go with. Now I've asked them this past Monday to make the shirts, and I've only heard from them once. So now I'm in a panic, like, okay, people have ordered shirts and hats, and I want to make sure I get it to them the time I told them it was going to be there.
Yeah.
How much are the shirts and the hats?
Shirts are $22, the hats $20.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Nice.
And I'm making very, very little off of that. It's actually it really, it's just to get the shirts and the hats.
Just to
And,
get it.
and
yeah.
everything you make is
Advertising.
rolling back into the convention.
Yeah,
So it's not like
I have
you're
a
like
Venmo account
getting
that
rich
is-
off of this.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not making any money off this at all. Any money I do have left over just stays in the Venmo account, and I use it to put into the next Fling Con. Like last Fling Con, I did 5 raffles. I had some money left over. I put that towards more games, so I'm having about 9 raffles this time.
Oh, nice.
For free game giveaways.
Are you having any events that go to charity?
Not at this time.
Okay.
No. That's that would be nice though, in the future.
Okay. Yeah, and we can help you
we have
with
some
something like that.
ideas that
Yeah.
We can help you with something like that. We used to do a really fun one that was called Cheat for a Cause, and people could buy like a cheat token for $1, and all the game masters were in on it, and everybody, so they knew, because everybody knew the money was going to the food bank. So if you needed to like re-roll a die, like in your board game or something to help you move forward, you could put that coin out and people would accept it because it was for charity,
I like that, yeah.
So something like that. So we can definitely help you if you want to do charity
thank you.
next time too. And there's a charity group here, a board gaming charity group that we can get you in contact to, and they do different charities. And
you
help
might
them out.
have met
The
them
Nerd
already. I
Nighters?
don't know.
Yeah,
Have you met the Nerd Nighters?
I've not.
Oh, okay, okay. So we'll get you in contact with some of these
Sounds
people
great.
too, so they can
Thank you.
help you build it up. Yeah,
We also have like a couple gifts for you too.
we do.
We have this game,
Resistance.
I love the Resistance.
Yep, it's a good one.
and then we have Ogre.
Ogre.
Ogre, Steve
For you
Jackson
as
games.
well.
Yep.
Yeah. So
And
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
And the Ultra Pro is for him.
yes. We have these are a bunch of sleeves, right?
Yep. So those are card sleeves. So if you want to put your game
I
in
have so many
card
games
sleeves,
in these
yep.
sleeves.
So that, and then
So thank you.
And then those are just some 6-sided die, red and blue. And then we have a dice tower that was 3D printed
Yes.
by
Wow.
somebody here in San Antonio.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're
I
welcome.
appreciate that.
Yeah, so if you want to, raffle
nice.
things off or do something like that, go for
Or do
it.
giveaways
Thank
or
you.
Or little
use them for your
giveaways,
games. Yeah.
You do your thing.
But it was really great talking to you. I'm really excited about this event, and it's coming up next, like a week from tomorrow,
Saturday,
right?
June 18th.
And where is this church? Because we haven't said
It
that yet.
It is in Windcrest off of 35 and 410.
And the
It's
name of
very
the
close.
church is?
The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Okay.
The address is
And-
on the website,
It's on the website.
Yep.
And what is your website?
flingcon.com.
Cool.
Flingcon.com.
Don't go to Flingcom. It's,
I was like looking you up because I was gonna give the address for you for that friend of mine, and I was like, nope.
Yep. That's a dating service. So yeah, go to
we're not
Fling
gonna
Con.
go there.
Yeah.
And then I'm assuming since it's at the church, the parking is free and everything.
Oh, absolutely,
So the $25 you get parking and you get
Yes.
food for the day and you get to come
Yes.
play board games and all of that stuff.
And also, we have a bazaar, so you can bring any games you want to sell or trade.
Oh, that's
to that-
always awesome.
I had about 300 games for sale last time, and
And is that something you charge for?
nope. Everything's inclusive.
Very cool.
Awesome. Awesome.
Very nice.
Well, good. Then I'll give you some games for that too, because I was going to give them to Goodwill. So.
Thank you.
I'm like, while you're here, I'm teacher spring cleaning. So.
Yeah. Well, I really appreciate you coming. It's been
Thank you for
really
having me.
awesome. This has been really great. I can't wait to go. But thanks for checking us out. It's been really good. If you haven't clicked on that subscribe button, click on the subscribe button, click on the notification bell, so next time we go live, you know. But thanks for checking us out. I'm Vince.
I'm Colleen, and that's Joe. And thanks a lot, Aaron.
Not my fault.
Geek out, I say.
Gotta say.